Okay. No, I have no video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the junior men's race, and the introduction of the athletes is now taking place. We have for you, from the 2022 Europe Triathlon Junior Cup in Yenişehir, we have a total of 38 junior men. 14 countries are being represented here. We have a great lineup for you. We really do. We've got athletes from all over the place, from Bosnia-Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Denmark, Hungary, Kazakhstan, Latvia, Moldova, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovenia, Turkey, and of course a huge contingent of athletes from Ukraine. That was our athlete number 11. Let's go have a quick look down through some of the numbers here. That was Yuri Tutunik from Ukraine. Number 12, we've just seen, that was Mustafa Yamak from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Alexander Bozilov there from Bulgaria. Number 15 there is Joachim Skovlund Reineke Schnack from Denmark. Number 16 is Yegor Krupyakov from Kazakhstan. Danny Babanchi from Moldova, wearing number 18. We haven't quite got to him yet. This is Danny Babanchi from Moldova, number 17. Now you can see that the water temperature, some athletes, one or two of them are choosing not to wear a wetsuit. It means that the water temperature is just on the borderline. And that the technical delegate has determined that wetsuits can be worn. Yesterday the water temperature was about 19.6, so it's just hovering below the 20 mark. Wearing number 21 there, Burak Çağdaş from Turkey. Number 22 is Ivan Chachenko from Ukraine. Maxim Shmulich from Kazakhstan. Karol Popper from Romania, wearing number 24. Jurt Verbic from 25. 26, Emir Aracha from Turkey. 27 is Maxim Salnikov from Ukraine. 28, Asat Bek Narmetov, Kazakhstan. 29 is Uldencha from Slovenia. Number 30, Taha Eren Koshgun from Turkey. 31, Artur Nazluyan from Ukraine. 32, Murat Zhaken from Kazakhstan. 33, Bogdan Nesterenko from Ukraine. 34, Danny Orodnov from Kazakhstan. 35, Semen Shipov from Ukraine. 36, Alexander Ten from Kazakhstan. 37, Ilya Stupchis from Ukraine. Number 38, Dmitro Cherenov from Ukraine. And the final athlete wearing number 39 at the back there, you'll see him, is Katalin Swiderski. My name is Paul Groves. I do apologise for the voice, but unfortunately, having put in it for 2.5 years, COVID has finally struck home. So the voice is a bit creaky, and if occasionally the microphone goes quiet, it's because I've had to cough or sneeze. So we've got John Petridis from Great Britain is the technical delegate. He's the gentleman there wearing the orange vest. To his left is Sasha Kochetkov from Lithuania, who's the head referee. The assistant technical delegate is Aytug Akar from Turkey. And we also have a medical delegate who's a local cardiologist or a thoracic surgeon, I'm not sure which, but very, very highly qualified, and she's going to be looking after the any problems we have. Begum Özgüren Kasapoğlu. We're going to try and get an update from the course just to see how the athlete was who crashed out in the earlier race in the junior women's category. So this again is going to be a sprint distance, so it's 1 lap out on the water. The water quality is absolutely superb out there. It's one of the best pieces of beach and best pieces of water we've seen for a long time. All the readings came back yesterday beautifully clean. There's not much of a current. There's a slight southeasterly wind coming in, which means on the bike section, if you can see the blue carpet in front of you, the athletes are running down, taking their position on the start mat. When the athletes run up that carpet and turn to the right, they will then leave the transition area and carry on to their right, travelling eastwards, slightly into the wind. In the women's race this morning, it was Marti Kropko from Hungary who absolutely dominated the swim and then just carried on. She had a solo race, swim, bike and run, all on her own, to take the gold medal with a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Just behind her, there was Matilde Santos from Portugal, 1:03.56, I think it was. And finally, we had Van der Kay from Switzerland taking the bronze medal. But it was very much a race totally dominated by Marti Kropko. She did exactly the same in Balıkesir in Turkey last year. Are we going to see something like that in the men's race? Well, that's a good question. The mix of the athletes at the moment, I would be looking very much at João Nuno Batista from Portugal. He's wearing number 1, and he won the silver medal at the World Triathlon Junior Championships that took place last year in Quarteira. A much rougher swim in Quarteira. The bike course has a very snappy hill in it, but the run course is dead flat. So the only difference here is an easier swim, an easier bike, and it's dead flat. It's dead flat and very fast. The road surface out there is very, very good indeed. The municipality have kindly closed down the whole of the seafront to give the athletes a very fair and safe race. So they're all in the starting position now. They're under the starters' orders. The instruction take-home marks will be given by the technical delegate, and the horn will be sounded by the head referee, and making sure all of the athletes are behind the line. When they hear the word take-home mark, they'll take 1 step forward and then run to the beach. The water is a fantastically sandy beach, with a gently sloping beach taking you into deeper water. With 38 athletes, 14 nations, and they're off. Now, if we've had any false starts, they'll be looking very carefully at the video to make sure that nobody gets an advantage. The whole idea of rules is to take away the advantage that any athlete might gain outside the rules. So they'll be looking at anyone who's taken a false start. If they have made a false start, then a penalty will be served when they come back into transition. They're going to swim anti-clockwise. The first buoy that they will come to is about 340 meters away. They then swim onwards, turn to the left again, and come back. When they come back, there is one Red Bull buoy, which is just to the left where the kayak is, and they can use that for sighting, and they can swim either side of it. So they're swimming out at the moment to that first of the yellow buoys, 340 meters away, and then they'll continue to go around the course, a total of 750 meters, before they come back onto the beach, run up to transition, and then set off onto the 3-lap bike course. I had the opportunity to speak to John Petridis before the race, and he said initially the plans had been to have a 4-lap course, making it 5k per lap. The risk there is that some of the less experienced athletes and the weaker ones, or haven't got the strength on the bike, they would be lapped. We saw that in Tokyo, surprisingly, with the elite women, and we really don't want to see that. So John, being very aware of this, suggested that they increased the length of the bike course and reduced it to 3 laps. So they've got longer laps, which means there's less of a chance of them catching up with each other. So now it's going to be a 3-lap bike course, which will be raced anti-clockwise. When they come out of transition, there's a short run up to the road, and then the mount line is a green, very large green line on the road. They then continue sort of basically eastwards. There's a dead turn through the boulevard. They come back. There's a slight rise away from the seafront to add a little bit of distance. They come back onto the seafront, another dead turn, and that's pretty much 1 lap completed. So 3 laps on the bike. And then on the run course, the run is separate, completely separate to the bike course. Again, brilliant organisation. There's no worry there of first runner, last biker scenario. And the run course is a 2-lap, dead flat, clockwise course. When they've completed the second lap, there's a run down to past transition and onto the blue carpet towards the finish line. But no breakaway. In the women's race, there was a very, very clear breakaway. Marti Kropko, choosing to swim with a sleeveless wetsuit, really showed some strength out there and was pulling away by the time they got to the first buoy. That's not the case here. It's difficult to pick out who's in there, but we have more technical officials out on the course than you would normally expect. In fact, there are 4 technical officials on the swim course with cameras. We've also got drones in the air, and they will be capturing the swim conduct. This is something that World Triathlon and its technical committee has focused on in recent years, and it's the behaviour of the athletes in the water. Inevitably, people will crack arms and crash arms, and there'll be a bit of the washing machine effect. But if that's intentional, then it will be dealt with by the officials. So 4 officials out there with cameras, making sure that the swim conduct is good, and also rounding the buoy. What they want to do is make sure that the athletes swim around the buoy, keeping the buoy on the left-hand side of their shoulder. The kayak there on the right of your picture, that will be one of the volunteers, making sure that the athlete does in fact go around the buoy. As you can see, there's quite a gap now. We've got a small group at the front beginning to pull away. The water not quite as flat as it was earlier today for the junior women's race. A little bit more of a chop on it as they round the final buoy. Now they're going to be heading back towards the beach, and you can see the Red Bull buoy there. The athletes are entitled to go either left or right of it, and that is their final line of sight down to the beach. I have to say, we watched this morning the age group and para race, and the camera team. This is Yenisehir TV and Media Atölyesi. They have 8 cameras and 2 drones, and the way that they filmed the age group race was fantastic. And I was mentioning in the junior women's race, organisers for the European Cups, they have the European Cup for the elite and the European Cup for the juniors, but they will also put a side event on, most of them, and the side event is an open race, either for their own age groupers or just an open race for everybody. And if you turn up, as the age groupers did this morning, you race on the blue carpet. You finish on the blue carpet. You have the same race that the elite or the juniors have. What an opportunity, and what a venue. It's not a place I've been to before, but it's definitely somewhere I'd like to put on my list of I'd like to visit. The hospitality we've always had. Visiting venues in Turkey, you can guarantee that it's going to be very warm hospitality. A big thank you to the president of Triathlon Turkey, Mr. Bayram Yalçınkaya, who raced this morning and was there ready to present medals to the athletes who'd finished the race. He's come into triathlon presidency of the federation with a good background of racing as an age grouper. In fact, if you put his name into a search on the World Triathlon database, you'll find his results, and they're quite impressive. But back to the race now. We've got a group of about 8 to 10 at the front. Quite some pace they're knocking out there, and it'll be very interesting to see what the finish time is. For the junior women, we had a finish time of about 9:30, I think it was. Let me just have a quick look at the data. The results, the provisional results are up, but the final results, we're still waiting on them to go onto the website. Yep, Marty Kropko swam this course in 9 minutes and 3 seconds. She had a 51-second advantage. Now, one of the athletes, we can see there, he's lost his hat in the swim. That's unlikely to attract a penalty. These things happen, it could have slipped off. But he's choosing to do the swim either without a wetsuit or with a sleeveless wetsuit. So look at that. 5 athletes, 5 abreast swimming there, and the other athletes behind taking a tremendous advantage of the turbulence that's being created by them. That's a very nice position to be. Those athletes behind them, tucked in that water, it's very aerated. It's very nice to swim there. It's like taking draft on the bike. And they're getting a tremendous advantage. Those 5 athletes at the front doing the work, and the other 4 or so directly behind them taking full advantage of the broken water. 7:45 on the clock. They'll be able to see the water quality and clarity here is very good. They'll be able to see quite a long way down in there, and no doubt they will be able to pick out the beach, which is now beginning to rise underneath them. It's quite a shallow shelf, so the closer they get to the beach, they will of course then have to start, as we see now, the dolphin stroke to try and get further advantage. Oh, look at that. 6 of them coming out the water together. As they go across the timing map, we'll be able to pick out, hopefully, some of the names. 8:30. Oh, 30 seconds quicker than Marty Kropko. That's not bad. So, turning to the right into transition, the branding, the build at this event, it's the first time we've had the race here in... It's the first time we've had the race here in Yenisehir, and the organisers have just thrown everything at this. Look at it. Beautifully built up. The branding, never give up. We've seen this all around the course, and that's the mantra of the race. Martin Kropko there, number 7. He had a great race last year in Balıkesir, coming second with a real battle at the front end of the race with a Russian athlete. So he's in a great position there. If we can pick up some of them who came out there. Oliver Hostrup-Salberg from the number 4 there. He was a silver medal winner last year in the European Junior Cup race in Račice. So silver for him, silver for Martin Kropko. You've got there 2 strong athletes. Will they be able to form a group together? In the women's race, we saw the solo effort from Marty Kropko right at the front, all on her own, did all the work, nobody with her. Now we see a different, an entirely different scenario. We've got the group together, 5 or 6 athletes. Now they need to form together, get a cohesive bunch together and start working, taking turns at the front to build the pace and to try and create a gap between them and any of the threats behind them. There's about 10 at the front end of this. And I think we've got there athlete number 2, which is Artur's Liepa. And now, Artur's raced last year in the race at Dnipro. Dnipro is a fantastic venue. In the news now for other reasons. But the organisers down there created a fantastic event using the river, a fast-flowing river, so it's a really good test for a swimmer. Their bike course is flat and fast, but then it's hilly, and that's a good technical challenge for the athletes. The run course is dead flat, an out and back run. Artur's Liepa was the gold medal winner there last year. So in that group at the front, you've got gold medal winners and silver medal winners. And yes, they're beginning to work. You can see they're pushing the pace. Artur's at the moment is doing all of the work, but he's bringing the other athletes through. He's telling them, come on, take your turn at the front. Let's build the pace. Let's get away from everybody else. And as you can see, the camera is picking up the quality of the road there. As they go along the boulevard, the whole front of the venue is closed down by the municipality, with police at both extremities, both ends, doing a really good job to keep the traffic off and to advise the public where they can go to. But the municipality really has jumped in behind the organisers, and this is a fantastic showcase event for them. Make sure you don't confuse the two Yenishehirs. There's one further north in Turkey, but this is right down on the coast near Mersin, towards the eastern part of Turkey, with the Mediterranean out in front. Yesterday, the Mediterranean was giving them a temperature of about 19.6. The air temperature mid-afternoon was 26. This is early April. The conditions out there are fantastic. So, this leading group of junior men, they really are not particularly well organised at the moment, but what they need to do is to start this chain gang process, where one goes to the front, stays for about 10 seconds, drops back, giving the lead to the other person. You can see that's Artios Liepa was shouting or gesticulating in the group. We've seen this before at the WTS level. You've seen Alistair Brownlee shouting at people, come on, take your turn. Well, this is what they need to do. This is the first of the turns, a complete U-turn for them. Now back on the other side of the promenade. So this is half of the first lap done. Now, what Pack is doing here is quite happy for him to take all the work. So he's moving out of the way, saying, come on guys, come on, it's time you move to the front. It's too easy for him to sit at the front and push the heavy gears. So he's now sat up, moved to the side, and they can do some work as well. The chase group behind them, and we also see one athlete there dealing with a problem. It looks like there's a tyre issue for that athlete who's on the side of the road. I believe that the wheel station is quite close to the bike exit, so he's probably in the worst position there to try and fix the wheel on his own. Now we've just lost the signal a little bit. Here we go again. That group of 5 are chasing with pedestrians. Pedestrians, come on guys. Okay, we just had confirmation that today's water temperature, quite early in the day, is 18 degrees, which is why the wetsuits were being worn. Portuguese athletes now moving in to push the pace a little bit harder. That may well be João Nuno Batista, number 1. As we said, he was the winner of the silver medal in the Junior Worlds in Quarteira last year, and also a silver medal at the Europe Triathlon Youth Championship Festival in Alanya. The Youth Championship Festival is something that Europe Triathlon does. It's unique. No one else in the world does this. Europe Triathlon does. They take all of the the youth athletes from around the region. They bring them together for a cultural get-together. Part of the cultural get-together is also racing, and they have the very fast format semi-final, final option, and they have relays. It's a tremendous opportunity, and they build into that as well a cultural experience, and that took place last year in Alanya. We can look on the lists later this year, see where the event will move in 2022, but it's a fantastic opportunity for athletes from around Europe to get together and to have the opportunity of training together, building their networks that will serve them as they move through the junior ranks, under 23 and into the elite. This is something that the President, Renato Bertrandi, President of Europe Triathlon, is very proud of. It's his initiative with the board, and it seems to work really well. We've had some great feedback from the various youth championship festivals that we've had over the past years. The President of Europe Triathlon, Renato Bertrandi, would have been with us for this event, but unfortunately he had a bit of a serious accident chopping a tree down that's resulted in him having a broken leg. So he isn't here to represent Europe Triathlon Executive Board. Instead, they have Željko Bijuk, who is the Sports Development Coordinator for Europe Triathlon, and he will be representing the board. And the good thing about that is sports development. That's exactly what he wants to see, and this is an early season race, and with his development team, he can focus on the strengths and weaknesses of various federations. Now, that initial group leading, 8 or 10 of them, they're now being caught by the chase pack. We saw that despite the work of Arturs Liepa at the front end of that group, it wasn't quite holding together enough. Here they are, still there, still working. It's still Arturs Liepa from Latvia pushing hard at the front. They're coming back onto the main boulevard. They'll be coming west, and then there'll be a turn. They will do another U-turn to take them back. But there again, you see him shouting at them and gesticulating. Come on, guys, come on. I think the pack we saw earlier was the chase pack being caught by a chasing pack. So the leaders are still out in front, and as you look behind on the screen, you can see they do have quite a good lead. They need to keep that lead going, and if so, then we can pretty much guarantee that the medals will come from this group. This would appear to be the two chasing packs, which are now coming back down onto the boulevard. We've got one down. Oh dear. Oh. Well, he's got up and he's chasing the bike, so at least that looks okay for him. I hope the bike's not damaged. So today's racing for the junior women, we had 20 athletes, 9 countries. For the junior men, 38 athletes and 14 countries. For tomorrow, we have the elite women and the elite men. We've got a huge start line for the elite men. There's about 70 athletes, which is going to be a very, very exciting start on the beach, and it will look fantastic. Big thank you, of course, to our TV team. That's Yenisehir TV and Media Atölyesi. The production team is working very hard to deliver these images, and they did the same for the age group as well. It's absolutely impressive. So that's your chasing group. We'll pick out a couple of athletes within there. We've got from Croatia, we've got Gabriel Banac. He's the 2021 Croatian national champion. From Hungary, wearing number 6, we've got the runner-up in the national championships last year. It's Julia Kovac. We have the Turkish athlete wearing number 21, who's the junior bronze medal winner in the Turkish Duathlon Championships this year. That's Burak Çağdaş. He's wearing number 21. From Kazakhstan, we also have Yegor Krupyakov, wearing number 16. He won a silver in Dnipro last year and had a top 10 finish in Balıkesir in Turkey in the middle of the season last year. This group at the front, they are moving pretty fast, but there's that pack. The pack is not together enough. It's not. They're not taking the full advantage of the position they have on the road, which is a real shame. And I'm sure that their coaches will be talking to them afterwards, saying, "Come on, guys, next time you want to try and work together as a team and really build the pace." A peloton like this, if they're determined and work together, they can really pull away from any threat behind them. Of course, within that group, they will all know that who's the stronger runner, and they can also realise that, well, perhaps we're not going to help them because we're not going to get on the podium. So there you have, from the swim results, a good performance from our Danish athlete. A 9:14. Well, that's interesting because I think that was the time going into transition. No, that's not the order, that's just the race order they've given that in, so apologies for that one. Our fast swim was 8:28. That was from João Nuno Batista. Good performance from him. And the second fastest swim was from Artūrs Liepa from Latvia. So we can expect to see those two at the front. Really, they know each other because they've both been on the circuit for at least a couple of years. They'll know the strengths and weaknesses. So Batista and Liepa, Portugal and Latvia, they are the ones to watch out in this leading group. Yeah, in fact, Julia Kovac was quite well placed in that group as well. But Oliver Hostrup Salberg from Denmark, wearing number 4. That's the silver medal winner in July at the European Cup in Račice. He was also tucked into that leading group. In fact, he was 4th out of the water with an 8:33 swim. We've got Alexander Boshilov there from Bulgaria in the the red and green and white uniform there. And here's your leading group. Kovac, Liepa, Salberg, oh, Artūrs Liepa is doing so much of the work here. Salberg tucked right behind him, taking full advantage of the power being generated by Artūrs Liepa from Latvia. Moving now to the side to allow Salberg to take a little bit of work at the front. He's moving to one side. Now we've got a bit of a breakaway here. Now whether this is going to be just a test to see how they're going to react, or whether it's a real threat to the race. No, he's looking over his shoulder saying, come on guys, I've pushed the pace, why aren't you coming with me? Come on. Meanwhile, the chase pack behind them is really motoring as well. And we can see, I think that's Jan Czarnowski from Poland, wearing number 18. Getting down as aero as possible in this leading pack. Batista tucked in well there behind Salberg. Now we can see there's a little bit more work going on within the group, and they're a little bit tighter in there in the pack. Still with the determination to push the pace a bit. Got a strong contingent of Romanian athletes there. Raul Petre, Karol Popa and Catalin Swiderski, wearing 19, 24 and 39. But the biggest group we have is from Ukraine. The Ukrainian athletes have been training traditionally over the years. They've always trained down in Alanya over the winter months to build up that winter training, and they found themselves stuck there, as you all know. And at the Lanusia President's Conference earlier this year, prizes were given out to federations for development for all sorts of reasons, and the majority of the federations donated their money directly back to the Ukrainian team who were stuck in Turkey, and they've been using that to fund their continued stay there. So they've moved from Alanya, which is their base, all the way along the coast here to Yenişehir for this race. So there's a big contingent of Ukrainian athletes. In fact, we've got 8 racing in the junior men's race. But this lead group at the moment with Liepa, Zalberg, Batista is in there, trying to see if Martin Kropko is in. We can't quite pick him out, but there they are. That's the turn at the far end, the western end of the course. Beautiful images from the drones, and when they do the drone shots, keep your eyes open, because the birds have been fascinated by the drones. All morning they were chasing the drones as they were filming the age groupers and the para-athletes. A couple of athletes need to really push hard to get back into that group. Spat out of the back there a bit. We've a few athletes from Kazakhstan. Number 16 is the silver medal winner from Dnipro last year. That's Yegor Krupyakov. It'll be interesting to see if we can pick out where he is in the race, because his pace on the run is quite impressive, but whether he's in that lead group, if he's not, then he's not going to be onto the podium today. From Turkey, Emir Araçı, he was the 2021 Turkish national junior champion. Had a very good swim in Dnipro, but didn't quite make the podium. Again, if he's not in that leading group there, it's unlikely he's going to make any feature onto the podium. Good to see the crowds out. They've been supporting the athletes in their warm-ups. We've seen some great social media posts. If you go to the Yenisehir Triathlon Facebook page, there's loads of videos that their media team have put up, and they've done a really wonderful job of welcoming all of these young athletes, and of course the elite athletes, to their city. And typical Turkish tradition, there was a wonderful welcoming banquet last night for the athletes, coaches, federations, and the technical officials. So yeah, I think that's Martin Kropko there, now pushing the pace at the front. His race in Turkey last year was a fine demonstration from him with a Russian athlete. They broke away on the swim, and they really built up a tremendous lead on the bike, and when it came down to the run, it was the Russian athlete who had the greater pace. And to give you an example of the timing, is exactly the same sprint distance. His finish time was 56:58 last year. That was at the race in July. He completed the distance on the bike in just a shade over 30 minutes. Just beaten by Pavel Sorokin from Russia in the final sprint to the line. That's Martin Kropko, from the great dynasty of the Kropko family. His father, Peter, was one of the legends of the racing in the old days. A multiple finisher in Hawaii, and his inspiration for racing really fed down to so many people in Hungary. And it's good to see the tradition of his racing being carried on by his daughter and his son. The chase group now, I can see, I think that's one of the Bosnian athletes in there. But here they come now. I think the lead pack is about to hit the turn point at the far end. Yep, they've gone around that turn point, and it's still the same group. Incredibly, people just wandering across the road. That really, you could see the reaction from the athletes. It's just so disrespectful, and a great shame that people think they should do that when there's a race on. We saw only last week with the big cycle race in Turkey, the dreadful accident. And I'm sure the organisers will be very disappointed with that member of the public there. Thankfully, the athletes are okay. It's something I'm sure they'll be talking about after the race.
Devam abi.
So Kropko is moving to the side there, just saying, come on, we're going to do something about this or not. And Liepa, once again, look at this. He's saying, come on, guys. Come on, let's get the pace up. He's waving, trying to get them to engage. And, yep, he's doing a lot of work and they're not responding to him. Now, the way he can answer that, of course, is out on the run. But with Batista, the Portuguese athlete, there's a good chance that Batista is quicker on the run. We'll just have a quick look at Batista's performance in Quarteira last year. His closing run over the 5k was 15:29, which is pretty impressive on the Quarteira course after the bike. And if we look at Martin Kropko's closing 5k, well, he can run 14:57. He has run 14:57 in the past. So, in theory, he's quicker. This could be quite interesting when it gets down to the final 5k. So Batista keeping an eye on them. Liepa in the front, again, doing all of the work. Salberg in there, taking it easy. And Batista's not the youngest in the race. He was born in 2005, whereas Liepa born in 2003. A couple of years difference. There are some athletes who were born in 2006. They're the very youngest ones. And this is the large peloton chasing behind. And we can see some of the coaches there. I can spot one of the Ukrainian coaches. They've been posting some wonderful images of their athletes over the last few weeks. Here they are turning inland. This is the little loop that's been added to the course to add greater distance. They come up to the top of the road, turn around, go back onto the boulevard. Behind them, life goes on as normal. It's incredible the way the city have closed down the roads, but their traffic management has been so good. It hasn't really impacted that much on there. This gives you a bit of an overview of Yenisehir. It means new city. Yeni, new, and Shehir is a city. But it is new, but it's got a lot of history behind it, and it's a great venue, and I definitely would like to go and visit. And let's hope we can see this event come back next year. And if you're an age grouper and you want to have a nice holiday in Turkey at the start of the season, book this place, come down with your bike or hire a bike down there and enjoy the hospitality and the experience of a blue carpet finish at a Europe triathlon venue. So we can expect to see, interesting, we can expect to see a bit of twitching on the bike now as we get towards the end of the bike legs, shall we say. Within the group, they now know that the medals are going to be seen from them. There's only 3 medals. Who's going to get them? It's going to be an explosive and fast transition. And you can see they're loosening the shoes ready for transition. In fact, Batista's got his feet out already. He's going to fly through transition. Zalberg making a move to try and get a clear run into transition. He doesn't want anybody in front of him. He wants a clear run. His legs are off the bike. They're about to dismount. Of course, there'll be cameras at the dismount area to make sure that nobody dismounts after the line, because that will be a penalty. Equally, when they come into transition, there's about a 60-meter run down into the transition area. All of the equipment they've used has to go into the box. We saw a couple of penalties in the junior women's race for equipment and a mount line violation. So it can happen. Hopefully it won't happen, but the penalties are there for the athletes if they don't follow the rules. So off they go. Zalberg has pushed away out into the front. Kovac chasing Liepa, Batista, and Kropko is in second place. So Zalberg is leading the race from Denmark.
Özellikle sporcuların çok üst sıralarda yer alması bizim için Türkiye açısından çok önemli. Sizlerin desteğine ihtiyacımız var.
Now this is going to be interesting. The run course, they go from transition onto a blue, clearly marked course that takes them again eastwards, into the wind, into the breeze. There are aid stations they can hit both ways, on the way out and on the way back. So anyway, you can see the carpet and the little ramp that takes them up onto the curb, down into transition. The build for this event has been remarkable. The organisers have just put everything behind it. The quality of the build, what they've put in place for the athletes, really is very impressive. The bike racks, we used to call these Olympic bike racks. They're individual bike racks for the elites we see, but now we're seeing them being used for the juniors as well. So Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Croatia, Slovenia, Bulgaria, all heading out now onto that blue track for the run. The Turkish triathlon tent you can see to the right, that's the penalty box. If there are any penalties for the athletes from the bike, from the mount line, out on the bike, littering for example, dismount or equipment in transition number 2, then the penalty will be served on the run course. So we can see Kovac has gone to the lead, and looks like Kropko is tucked in right behind him with Batista, then Liepa. Zalberg has dropped off the pace a bit. He's dropped off the pace from the 4th. So there's 4 athletes going for 3 medal positions. Run course is a 2-lap clockwise course with a dead turn at each end, and when they've gone past that penalty box on the final point, they then have a run around the outside of transition onto the blue carpet and about 60 meters to take them down to the finish. So Kovac, who was runner-up in the Hungarian National Championships, is taking command of the race with Batista, one of the younger athletes in the race, tucked in behind him. Kropko and Liepa are still in a good position. Oh, this is an exciting race. The four of them, they know there's only 3 medals available. Oh, can you imagine what's going through their heads at the moment? Such an opportunity, such a great opportunity for Kovac. This would be his first international medal if he can get onto the podium. There we have number 17, and that's Daniel Babanshi from Moldova. Making sure everything goes into the box, nice and tidy. Head referee Sasha Kochetkov just making sure everything's in order. All of the technical officials have been trained to work at this event, and if they see anything that looks wrong, looks like an infringement, they refer it to their head of section. So for example, in transition you saw the technical officials, they have somebody there who's in charge of it. They will then give them the evidence, give them the athlete's number, and it will be Sasha who makes a decision as to whether or not there's a penalty. Now these 4 athletes have clearly broken away. They've dropped Salberg from Denmark, pushed the pace up, they've gone through the first turn. Now it's a straightforward run along the front back towards the penalty box. That looks like Liepa has gone into the front, and he's really pushing the pace there. Look at that. So your bike split is 29 minutes and 3 seconds. That's the bike split for Salberg. So that injection of pace just off the turn, a wonderful placed kick, has broken that group of 4 into 2 and 2. They can't afford to let that happen. They really must try and rejoin, and yes they have. You've got Liepa and Kovac once again joined by Kropko. Batista sitting back there, just in a good position there, letting them break the air, break the wind, taking the advantage of standing behind the tall, running behind the taller athletes. This is some pace. It really is quite an impressive pace from Liepa. Now for him, there will be many memories of that victory he had in Dnipro. He's a student in Riga, and as a student in Riga, he must be absolutely delighted that he's also a gold medal winner from that race in Dnipro, which he put a 16:49 5k in. It was the fastest run of the day by at least 3 seconds. Kovac just behind him, looking to see where Kropko is. Now his best performance on the international circuit would appear to have been in Bled last year, where he just missed the podium. But it is Liepa from Latvia really pushing the pace at the front. Kovac is tucked in behind him. Kropko drifting backwards and forwards between being right on Kovac's shoulder and being a bit adrift. And Batista is staying very sensibly behind them all. So from Latvia, Hungary and Portugal, 3 medals. I have to say, I would be very surprised if Hungary is not on the podium. I'd be quite surprised if Latvia doesn't win this race, because the form that Arturs Liepa has shown the way that he was in charge of the bike, did so much work on the bike, and now taking command on the run, I think it's going to very much likely be him. Unless, of course, Batista is holding something back, keeping his powder dry, should we say, and he's going to take the ride all the way along the 5K and then kick probably just about where the penalty box is for that last run down past the transition area onto the blue carpet and down to the finish. "47 minutes and 15 on the clock. Now you can see the athletes in front. There's a green column, or that's the turn point for the run. As you can see, the branding around here has been absolutely incredible. And Liepa has kicked. He's away. No, he's off the back. It's Kovac, Kropko, Batista. They've dropped Liepa. Well, that's a turn up. So Kovac, Kropko, Hungry Portugal, now leading the race. Liepa struggling as he drifts backwards off that lead, seeing the chance of a medal disappearing in front of him. Kovac, Kropka, Batista, and Liepa is pushing hard. He's managed to get back onto them. That was a moment that must have been quite terrifying for him, but now the four of them are back together. Liepa is at the back of that group of four, the first time he's been in that position on the run. Jakob Mamic there from Slovenia, and Mustafa Yamak there from Bosnia-Herzegovina on the turn. Just behind him was Alexander Bosilov from Bulgaria. So they've completed the one lap and they're about a quarter of the way through the final lap. They know that they're going to head down the blue track to the dead turn. It'll be then back onto the white for the long drag back towards transition, towards the penalty box. Hopefully they won't see their number there. If they see their number with a letter, that means they'll have a 10-second penalty for whatever infringement or infringements, because we saw one of the athletes in the women's race earlier getting 2 penalties, one for equipment and one for a mount line. So that would be 20 seconds for her. They'll be looking at that board and hoping that their name is not on it. There we see Niko Matas there from Croatia. And Alexander Ten from Kazakhstan. Alexander Ten, he raced out in, they have slightly different categories over in the Asian Championship. So he was in the under 15 category, 2019. It's like an age group categorization. And there he was taking the gold medal in the Jeonju 2019 Asian Championships. So Kovac, Batista, Liepa, Martin Kropko looking a little bit of looking in a bit of a bad place there. A bit of a rolling stride as they hit the final turn. So for them now, it's the long drag all the way back, knowing that there's going to be a sprint for that line at some point. 4 of them still together. Can any one of them kick now? Are they going to kick now, or are they going to save it for that final bit of carpet? We've got to announce it, but we've got some DNFs there. We need to have a quick check on those DNFs just to make sure we haven't got the wrong information. If we can just confirm those numbers and see if we can find out We were under the assumption that was Batista in the lead group. We need to pick up the number of the Portuguese athlete there. We made the assumption that it was Batista, but we've just had a shout from the course that he might have DNF'd. So this athlete could be, instead, it could be either Docanto, Catarino or Vaz. Yep. Batista has pulled out, so we're not sure which athlete this is now. But and anyway, Liepa is now pushing the pace. He's upped the pace. The tempo has risen. I think that is Docanto. Gustavo Docanto from Portugal, not Batista. If so, this is the race of his lifetime so far, because Docanto, 2004, he was born quite a young athlete. He had just a top 5 finish this year in Quarteira. But this at the moment is the race of his lifetime. If he's able to get onto the podium, that will really be a fantastic result for him. But Liepa from Latvia is still there, looking a little bit more relaxed. After that earlier turn when he dropped off the pace, there was a bit of a concern that the race was over for him. Equally with Kropko there, as he went into the final turn on the far end, he didn't look too good. Kovac, Kropko, Docanto and Liepa. See if we can just get a name check.
Crazy.
Yep, it's the athlete Docanto. So now we know that it isn't Batista. I do apologise for making the error there. The assumption was that it was him. But Liepa has now given a bit of a kick. They've dropped Kropko at the back, so it's going to be Latvia, Hungary and Portugal. Oh. But Docanto is not going to give up. In fact, he's attacking, and he's attacking very well. This is going to be a superb finish. Liepa is now, he can see the blue carpet in front of him. Docanto can see how close he is. Docanto is giving everything. He's going to be chasing him right the way down to the finish. In fact, Docanto looks strong enough to catch him. Can he get past Liepa? There's a slight turn to the right. There's about 60 meters to go on the blue carpet. Kovac has dropped off the pace. Kovac is accepting bronze, but there's going to be a battle between Liepa and Docanto. Docanto and Liepa. This is going to be a photo finish. Wow! I think just Liepa just took that. But it's going to be down to the officials and the photo finish guys to make a really thorough check on this. Kropko comes through for a fourth. That run was just a little bit too hard for him, but my goodness, what a great performance there from Gustavo Docanto from Portugal. He's upgraded his 5th place at the Junior European Cup in Quarteira at the end of March. 5th place there to a silver or possibly a gold medal here. But if you wanted a great race, you certainly got that one there today. And wow, that was just incredible. We have to wait now just to see what happened, who got the gold, who got the silver. We know that Kovac got the bronze. Oh, what a race that was, and what a great performance from all 3 of those athletes, delivering such a great finish. So the orange vest there is from the technical delegate John Petridis from Great Britain. And the head referee, Sasha Kochikov from Lithuania, will be making sure that the results come out. And here we have the provisional results for the men, not the junior women, with Latvia taking gold, with Portugal taking silver. Wow, what a finish that was. So we just need to change that graphic and make sure that it says junior men. But Artur Liepa, Latvia taking the gold, Gustavo de Canto, Portugal taking silver, and Julia Kovac, Hungary, taking the bronze medal. And again, using the fantastic branding there. The organisers, they really have followed all the guidelines. They've got superb branding around the course. These are the finished photographs in the finished suit, the ones that are going to be shared around social media with all the sponsors behind them, with the name of the event and the right branding. John Petrini is just making sure everyone's got some water there.
And you need to get to the recovery area as well. So try and do all three at the same time. Okay, let me find out if they're going to interview you first. Otherwise,
well, that was an outstanding race, and I'm sure the friends and family back in Riga will be delighted. It will be nice to see him perform again at the event in Riga this year. And also, don't forget, we're using these events in a build-up to the big event that's going to be taking place in Alston, which will be the championships, the European Championships. We have a good test for all of our junior athletes very soon in Caorle in Italy, and we can look forward to that race because this is going to be something very special. We've got the elite racing, we've got the juniors racing, but then on the Sunday, 3 days of racing, on the Sunday, the organisers are putting together a mixed team relay. But the mixed team relay will have nothing to do with the elite. It's going to be a mixture of the under-23s and the juniors. A tremendous opportunity for the coaches and federations to see just how well their athletes perform. And it's the first time it's ever been done, mixing the juniors with the under-23s, because normally it's the under-23s mixing with the elite. So this is an opportunity in Caorle in Italy in May, and it will be a chance for us to all see how well the juniors and the under-23s can perform together over this absolutely thrilling format of the mixed relay. Athletes still coming across the finish line. We'll hopefully wait until all 38 of them are finished. The one athlete who went down, we think he was able to continue on the bike. We've got confirmation that there were 2 who did not finish. And the officials will be trying to get the athletes off the carpet as soon as possible. Just behind them, to their left in fact, is a very well equipped athletes lounge for recovery, with food, drinks, shade, everything they need. Just a little bit of encouragement and they'll be fine. That's Taha Eren Gözgün, who is the 2022 Turkish Junior National Duathlon Champion. So he's mixed that experience of racing at the highest level in Turkey with this, a high level in Europe, but adding to it a swim. So just getting the medical delegate out to have a quick check of him to make sure everything's fine. And then we'll get him into the shade. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been enjoying this, you can go back and watch the race once more on the Triathlon Yenişehir Facebook page. If you're watching it through the portal on World Triathlon, Europe Triathlon, they may show the video once again, I'm not sure, but you can certainly see it on the Facebook page for Yenisehir Triathlon. So the medics taking this one a little bit more seriously. They've got the medical team out just to assist the athlete from the finish line. Just over the hour now for the finishing of the next athlete. Good times. It's a sprint distance, tough course because it's quite windy.
venue though, isn't it? What a setup.
And these young athletes, our youngest athletes were born in 2006, so we do have a very young age group here. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what role the dog has, but he doesn't seem to be particularly bothered by things. But it's a good opportunity. We mentioned earlier that Željko Bijuk, the Europe Triathlon Development Coordinator, is here. There's a whole team of the development committee out at this event, and they'll be looking at the strengths and weaknesses across the boards for all of the athletes and giving feedback to the coaches and the federations to ensure that the investment they get from Europe Triathlon, each year Europe Triathlon gives each of the developing nations, I think we're going to have an interview. We might be lucky and get an interview.
First of all, it was a really good competition here. First of all, how do you feel about the race?
I mean, I got into this race like after camp, after the Quartera, I stayed. First of all, in Quartera, it was first race and I felt really bad. So then I had a camp and here I came like 50-50, you know, what will happen will happen. And the race felt good in the swim. I was, I think, in front pack, like third or fourth. We came out in the bike, we all worked, I think so. We tried some breakaways, but it didn't happen. So in the transition second, we came all together. And in the run, it was, we were fifth, 5, then 4, and we all ran together, and it was like, oh my God, it's hard. And I think it was really a nice race because everyone worked hard. And yeah, congratulations to everyone. Thank you for support. The crowd in Turkey is awesome. As I heard, it's the first time junior race is broadcasted, and I'm happy that I won. Yeah.
And it was a really close finish at the end. How did you feel about it when you were coming to the final?
So basically how it was, if you see the live, after the last turn in the end, we all like slowed down the pace to like almost walking, you know. And it was like, what is happening? Because the first time we all just slowed down, and we didn't know who will run first. And when we start to sprint, maybe like 1 kilometer away from the finish, I did a spurt. I tried to break away. I realized that I don't have that much power, but we all come together. And I mean, last 200 meters, I just went for it, and I won. So yeah, it was really hard but fun.
Congratulations again,
yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, good luck to everyone. Cheers.
So great there to hear from Artur Liepa, gold medal winner here today in the Junior European Cup, with a pretty good performance there to keep his calm on that final part of the run. It would have been so easy to give up, but gold medal winner in Dnipro last year and a gold medal winner here today. A great performance there from our Latvian athlete, Artur Liepa. There you can see our corrected results. We do need to just change that logo to show junior men rather than junior women, but I think you can understand that they're all the junior men athletes. They've done really well to get these results up. Of course, Sasha Kochetkov, the head referee, will be going into the timing guys. I'll let Lukan have a quick interview.
I mean, it was so hard from the beginning to the finish. I got out like first or second out of the water, which was an amazing swim for me. Then it was always working in the group, in the bike, and then getting to the run. It was a super hard start in the run, but then the finish, it was even harder as we started sprinting so early. My legs were burning, but I'm super happy with the second place.
Apart from everything, how did you feel about the course? How did you feel about the tracks? What's your opinion about this new race?
I love the parcours. It was a super fast race. The swim was fast with not any waves and stuff. The bike was really the fastest thing. It was super smooth tarmac. It was a little bit slippery in the corners. Actually, João crashed and he's in the hospital. I'm kind of worried about him. But then the run was also so fast because it was just a straight line, go back and forth, and yeah, it was it.
And last of all, how did you feel when we were coming really close to the finish, that you were battling for the first position? Tell me how you felt about it.
I mean, I never gave up. I knew the guys were strong. I actually was not expecting Lepa to be a so good sprinter, because he actually dropped in the second lap, in the start of the second lap. But then he really catch a breath, and then he was able to sprint really fast. And it was really close. It was really, must have been good to watch.
Absolutely, it was. Congratulations again for your second place, and welcome here.
Thanks very much.
That's a big thank you to Gustavo do Canto from Portugal, silver medal winner here today. And the results will be published online on the triathlon.org page as soon as they've been checked and double-checked by our head referee, Sasha Kochetkov, making sure that any penalties that have been served are properly entered into the system.
And tell us about
we now have an interview with Gulakovic.
About Marcin.
Thank you. My swim wasn't so good, but the water is not good. After that, I was well on bike. I'm in the group, but then on the run, I push, but I felt I do that, but I can't.
You were a really close group coming to the finish. And what were your feelings when you were coming so close together to the finish?
I'm a little bit nervous, and I felt strong, but I don't know.
And can you tell us something spectacular that you felt about this course, about this race?
This place is very beautiful. The water is a little bit cold for me, but the bike course is pretty good, and it's good asphalt. And the run course is also beautiful and good. Yeah, it's a good place for the race.
So we can hope to see you again in here, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully.
Congratulations again. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So a great big thank you there to Julia Kovac. This is his best performance on an international race ever. He's been so close to the podium before. Fourth in Tishovaros in 2021, fifth in the Silver Lake race in 2021, fourth in Bled again 2021. Never quite making it onto the podium, but this time a solid bronze medal for Julia Kovac to Hungary. So we've got Hungary have managed to do quite well out of today's racing, with a gold in the women's race and a bronze in the men's race. But Latvia takes the honours, with Portugal taking a silver. That's 2 silvers for Portugal, with Matilde Santos taking the silver in the junior women's race, and Gustavo do Canto taking the silver in the junior men's race. So tomorrow, exactly the same race distance. It's a sprint distance for the elite. We have the elite women starting off at 2 o'clock local time, and the elite men at 4:30 local time. So if you're in Europe, that's going to be 1 o'clock and 3:30. If you're in the UK, it's midday and 2:30. Big thank you from me to the TV team Yenisehir TV and Media Atölyesi. They've done a wonderful job to provide us with such good images from the bike course, the swim course, and of course the run course. A big thank you to them, and to the feedback we've had from the course, from the technical officials, and from around the supporters. We're coming towards the end of the broadcast very soon. We've got the awards ceremony. I'm not sure if we're going to see that, but the medals will be presented this afternoon in about a quarter of an hour to the women and to the men. So A great day of racing, a solo performance from Marty Kropko in the women's race, and an absolute battle for the 3 podium places for the junior men. Great racing from the juniors. These are the athletes of the future. From me, Paul Groves, thank you for being with us. Sorry about the voice, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.